Welcome back to this exciting class on SEO. Now, SEO is one of my favorite areas and where I have a big background in. I had worked at Merkle for 3.5 years, a large performance marketing agency, and I was focused solely on SEO there. So I'm excited to share some of my knowledge and give you an overview of SEO. What is SEO? Let's define it first. Search engine optimization. I think Moz here gives a really good definition. The practice of improving and promoting a website in order to increase the number of visitors the site receives from search engines. And I just wanted to note that as a rule of thumb, if you have a good experience, content, and navigation that is optimized for users, it's usually good for search engines. Really great quote here from John Mueller at Google is that SEOs don't manipulate Google, they manipulate websites. And there's a lot of work that does make sense to do on websites, which makes the search engine's job easier. And it can help position a page so that it's relevant to a large number of users' needs. So that's really what the algorithms of the search engines are looking for when they crawl a website. They're looking for relevant content that matches the keywords, intent, and topic for what the users are searching for. And quality. So another important thing to note when people talk about on-page versus off-page SEO. Now, on-page SEO is anything that can be controlled by the webmaster directly on the website. So the content and meta that we'll describe a little more in depth later, internal links, the source code on the back end of the site, along with the images. Off-page SEO are factors that may be influenced but cannot be directly changed or updated on the website. So when we think of off-page SEO, we think of backlinks, the domain authority, the social reputation, and social sharing of content. So what we have here as well is a chart from Search Engine Land that I suggest you check out and download for yourself as a quick resource if you're really interested in SEO. It gives a quick guide of the on-page factors versus the off-page factors within SEO. It's a really handy guide and just a helpful resource. And Search Engine Land, as well as Moz, has a lot of great resources on a wide-ranging area of SEO topics. Speaking of which, is the Maslow's Hierarchy of SEO Needs by Moz, which I love. So here we have info on building a strong foundation. And I really like equating SEO to the house model. So you have the strong foundation of the house. It's really important. You can't build a good house unless you have a strong foundation. So there we talk about the crawl accessibility, so engines can reach and index your content. Then we move into compelling content, keyword optimized content, the user experience, having share-worthy content, the meta updates and schema or structured data and featured snippets to stand out within the search engine results page. And that's a term you hear a lot in SEO is people will talk about the SERPs. We want to rank higher in the SERPs. What that stands for is search engine results page. One thing to note when we think about optimizing for search engines is that over 90% of organic search comes through Google. Now, Bing's moving up in the world. Little by little, they bought Yahoo. They merged with them in 2019. So Bing makes up around 5% of all organic search. And then you have some smaller players that are gaining traction, like DuckDuckGo and other smaller search engines. So digging deeper into the SERP, or the search engine's results page, you have here, you put in a search query, and then what you get first usually is paid search ads. In this case, since it's a product related keyword, you're getting product listing ads, then you have text ads under that, and then you have the organic listings. SEO, or search engine optimization, is not concerned with this first part of the paid search product listing ads or the text ads. We're looking to advance in the organic listings. That's what SEO is concerned with. Another search engine results page image, and you see here that you see a different search engine results page based on your search. So in the last search, we searched for a product related topic. This one is food related, and it has more of a local focus. So you have the local map pack here. And with the local map pack, local SEO is also a very large area, especially if your business has physical locations that you're very focused on. So in that case, you could optimize for your local map pack by optimizing your Google My Business page. There's also a listings management service through, I know there's vendors such as SEMrush that allows you to push the correct information of your name, address, phone number, that type of information across, Foursquare, MapQuest, Google, across all those different listing services, so your information's correct on the web. And that's increasingly important to keep updated during the times of COVID and after. With fluctuating hours that you always want to keep up to date. The knowledge graph is another area. For branded terms, you'll have info about your business within the knowledge graph. And then in this case, the organic listings are down in this bottom area. So then we move into, it's important for search engine optimization to understand the search engine's process. So the first step a search engine makes when going to your site and determining what pages to put within their results is they crawl the site. They're bots, or they're also known as spiders or crawlers. They first crawl the web and gather pages. And they crawl probably more often than you would think. I would think most businesses I've seen in the couple every few days, every week, in that range. So they crawl the web often. Then they index the pages. So the web pages are stored or cached in the search engine index or database. And the search engine ranks pages by many different factors. When a searcher submits a query, the results are pulled from the index and ranked within the search engine results page using the proprietary algorithm by Google or Bing or whatever search engine it is, based on a number of factors: the quality of content, the amount of time the site's been there, the amount of links pointing to that site, and a lot of different factors based on the algorithm. So speaking of algorithms, Moz and Search Engine Land have great resources explaining algorithm updates. So here on Moz.com, Google Algorithm Change, they have a very in-depth history of algorithm updates going back. You could filter by different years, go through all those different ones there. just to give a couple examples of some algorithm updates and what they impact. In August of 2015, there was a local pack update. And the main thing that update did was it made fewer local results were now placed above the organic listings. I think before that, there were, 5 or 6 local results placed above the organic listings. They moved that down to 3, I believe. And then there was the Possum update that drew upon that local listings update, and they decreased the local pack frequency. The mobile first index of 2018 was a big update that based a series of results on mobile experience rather than desktop. So by mobile first, what sites would do what the crawlers would do is from Google would crawl the site based on your mobile experience, whereas before it would crawl based on the desktop experience because of the importance of mobile. So modern SEO covers all these different areas and more. When we talked about crawl, index, and rank, you can see here that crawl, we look at crawl errors, internal linking, the robots.txt file, which is the first place that the search engines go to, the navigational elements, the site architecture, the XML sitemap. Then there's also the indexation factor, looking at Google Search Console, which we'll discuss later. And there's also a lot of different ranking factors we look at, such as, content is huge with SEO. The meta updates, meta descriptions, title tags, we'll talk about those later as well. But the reason I have this slide here is not to scare you. It's just to show that SEO covers just about every area of optimizing a website to rank better within the search engines. So a lot of times you just think of backlinks or just backlinks linking and matching your content to keywords. That's a big part of SEO, but there's a lot more to it. And just want you to understand the scope of what we're looking for when we talk about SEO. Some common SEO tools. I won't really jump into these, but you have a bunch for keyword research. I highlighted my favorite, and this is by no way an exhaustive list. These are just my favorites and what I use most often. So you have the keyword research ones here, backlink research, some crawling tools. Screaming Frog is an absolute must for any SEO to analyze the site. It's a very powerful tool, and we could have a whole course on Udemy just on Screaming Frog, to be honest. We have site speed, a lot of different tools there. I just name a couple. Schema, which is structured data. Then we have a lot of different reporting tools. Very popular one is Google Analytics. You have some dashboard tools like Tableau, TapClicks, NinjaCat, a lot of different ones. Customized SEO recommendations can oftentimes be very complicated, so they're usually explained using visual examples. And I have an example here for a client that we gave them a recommendation to update their 404 page or an error page. So the 404 page is the status code that's served when you type in an incorrect URL. So what we show here is what the current client implementation was and what one of their big competitors had. So this is just an example of how we show our SEO recommendations and how say if you're a company looking to work with an SEO vendor, this is what you can expect to see, visual examples explaining complex topics and boiling it down to show what they're recommending and why they're recommending it. diving a little deeper into that, and what I have here is an example of an SEO roadmap for a financial client. So SEO is a lot different than more typical forms of digital advertising where you have, we're going to do these tactics at this cost per thousand impressions, and this is what we're going to show you on the reports. SEO is a lot more project based, and it's a lot more of a long-term play than we're going to do that this month. We have these goals for this month, and we're going to show you the outcome this month. It's a lot less straightforward, but it's a lot more of a long-term investment that impacts the core of your site, and just gives you long-term value that lasts long after a lot of times the SEO work is done. So this example, and this is what we do for our, especially the larger clients, that we give customized recommendations based on, we'll do a crawl of the site just like a search engine would do using Screaming Frog or other tools. We also look at the site, run a test through a lot of our different tools, do a competitive analysis, and a lot of other analysis that I'll describe after this. But some things we look at are, in this example, local listings management. This was a client that had a lot of different branches of their financial services. So local SEO is important for them, and having the right information across the web. We also determined a lot of different things from the crawl. So, for example, broken and redirecting links. We found we wanted to clean those up first, then having better calls to action and better conversions was a big goal of the client. So that was another high impact item we had early on the list. And we just went through all the different recommendations here. And then, finally, a big project through a bunch of months was breaking up the title tag and meta description updates that we wanted to make. And we split that up into batches for each month, kind of like sprints with web development. SEO and web development kind of crisscross a lot because they're very similar fields, and SEO works with developers a lot to implement the SEO recommendations. So moving into another very important area of SEO is content strategy. Now you have technical, which we talked about on the foundation, and just different technical areas. And then you also have content. So why is it important to improve the position of keywords you're ranking for on the site? As you see here, the top pages to the top keyword ranks get the most clicks. So if you're ranking in position 1 on average for desktop, you're going to get a click-through rate of 22.8%, which is amazing. 12.02% it drops to in position 2, then it keeps dropping, and you go down, you're still on the first page with position 10. You get down to 0.96% click-through rate, which still is good comparatively with a lot of forms of advertising and just in general, but it's still a far cry from 23%. It's even higher on mobile and dips lower on mobile when you get past that 5th position. So that's really why getting in those first few positions is really important for keywords and getting more traffic to your site. You probably heard that the best place to hide a dead body is on page 2 of the results for search engines. And as you can see here, that is the case. So with that being said, a big thing that we do in SEO is striking distance keyword reports. So we look at where we're currently ranking in positions, it could be 5 to 15 if you have a ton of keywords, 5 to 20 if not as many. And what we look to do there is update the title tags, the content, look at what the top competitors are doing for these specific keywords that we can incorporate within our page that is ranking for that specific term. So in this case, life insurance definition, we're ranking in position 6. So that would be a key term that we would look at. Okay, this article is doing really good there. What are some other competitors in the top 3 spots doing that we could, look into that is giving them the advantage that we can incorporate and update with our current content. So looking at some best practices here, page titles, 50 to 60 characters in length, using a primary keyword that we're targeting, meta descriptions, 150 to 160 characters in length. The meta descriptions in themselves aren't a ranking factor like the page title and heading tag are, but they do have a big impact on click-through rate. So the better meta description you have, the better click-through rate you're likely to have. So just to keep in mind that there are best practices for updating the page titles, the meta descriptions, the heading tags. And what we do when we crawl a site, we will see pages that are missing title tags. They have duplicate title tags. They have very small title tags that are just one word. So we'll look through those, and that's where we'll use that to put together the plan. Now, moving into a content gap analysis. This is what we'll do a lot of times when we're looking to add new content to our site. So to do that in a SEO optimized way, we'll look at what our top competitors are ranking for, compare that to areas that we're not ranking for, and then determine the best opportunity that matches up with our business goals, our content goals. And that's how a big way that we determine new content areas to focus on. So for example, in this case, the term financial advisor, and this is, my client wasn't ranking for this at all. But, we had a competitor, one of them ranking in position 13, one of them ranking in position 3. So this area, it was a, great term to add content around and see what content we currently have around it, maybe that we could update, and if we need to just totally add new content to rank for that term. Here's an example of one that's built out a little more. I've blurred out in a lot of these cases the client names to protect the innocent there. So in this example, we have specific terms in the Pittsburgh, PA area where we weren't ranking for, but the competitors were, and it gave us some good ideas on where we could add content. So once we have a, either gap analysis or the striking distance analysis, the SEO team in a lot of cases will dive in and provide specific detailed recommendations. We'll look at what we're currently linking to, because links are a big ranking factor and an important aspect of boosting the content. Then we'll also look at the top competitors and what they're doing. Like maybe our article is very thin with 500 words, and all the top 3 ranking competitors have 1,000 word or more deep dive articles. Then we'll go into the recommended theme and the body copy, what the heading tag should be, and this outlines the content. Then the recommended title tag, H1, and meta description. And, this is what a lot of times we would do. We would create these recommendations, give it to a team of writers who would then write the ad based on these tactics. Another thing we would do is if you have a current piece that's written, maybe writing the article on a topic, and then we provide these recommendations to update it. It's always good to bake the SEO into the content whenever possible beforehand, rather than scrambling after a piece of content's written to provide the SEO recommendations. But it's common to do both. So this was just a overview primer on SEO. Not an exhaustive guide by any means, but just wanted to get you familiar with this marketing channel. And this discipline within marketing. So if you want to learn more, I really strongly suggest reading the Moz Beginner's Guide to SEO. This is great whether you're a seasoned SEO professional to go back to and read through, or someone brand new to SEO. It really takes you from zero to being an SEO, having an intermediate level of knowledge within the SEO field. And it really points you in the right direction of all the different areas of SEO. And it's a great guide. There's a lot of other resources to drill into specific topics across Moz, as well as Search Engine Land, Search Engine Journal, digging deeper into these topics you find within the Beginner's Guide. Reach out to SEOs that you find within LinkedIn. Also, another thing I recommend is rolling up your sleeves and getting into it. Practice SEO on your own website, or what I've done was create a blog, and it's a great thing to do. Work towards getting 1,000 visitors in your first year. Have like a set goal in mind that you want to do, and work towards creating your own Google Analytics account for your site, Google Search Console's account, and then go bookmarking those tools and going in to see what clicks are ranking on what you're getting clicks for and impressions on your site for. So there's a lot you could do to get involved in SEO. It's a great field. I really love it, and still practice and still do SEO work for my clients. Something that I recommend for everyone, and I'm glad to teach you more about it today. So I hope you enjoyed this class on SEO.